the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly.
Welcome to Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. We got another live show for you. Welcome back. Do me a favor as you come into the room, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also follow me on X or Twitter at Chicago Bears 360 _ Coach T. We got a good show for you today. Lots to talk about. Some of the topics we're going to talk about is the following. The QB room, whether it's good or not. I had an interesting conversation on X this week related to the QB room, and I have a different perspective than I had just a few days ago related to the QB room. Should we sign JJ and Mooney? And if so, how much for? Who's schooling who? I know that's a lead on topic, but I want to dive into who's schooling who in terms of the quarterback or the coordinator. And then the O-line shifts that we got going on this week with Braxton Jones coming back, that and so much more. Listen, y'all know I tried to stay away from this whole Bears YouTube thing. I tried to. I did everything.
I showed them mercy. I walked away. I was the bigger man. And look where the fuck it got me.
Look where it got me. Right here back with y'all, live with another show. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. Y'all know what's next. Cue the intro, maestro.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
And just like that, we're back. Welcome to Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. Back with another live show for y'all. If it's your first time joining the show, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also share the live. If you like how I'm getting down on YouTube here, listen, we try to separate ourselves from the other shows. Why? Because this is Bears football from a coach's perspective. Yes, we're going to get into the X's and O's also. I left that out on the intro monologue. We're going to get into some X's and O's, specifically the defense, right? We're going to talk about some players that's trending up in the defense as well. So without further ado, let me give a quick shout out to all the field soldiers out there. Those of you that are like, subscribed over the past year and a half, we appreciate your support. The channel is still growing thanks to you. We don't take that for granted. We appreciate it. However, what we don't do is we do not pull punches on our takes over here. So I'm not pulling punches on my takes over here. You want a nice guy that's going to tell you everything is sunshine and rainbows with the Chicago Bears. And you know what I'm saying? I agree with everything that's on Bears Twitter. And I agree with everything that I see coming out of pressers and all that other stuff. This is not the Kumbaya, hold hands and sing Kumbaya Bears football show, right? We're going to call it how we see it, right? And yes, the tape doesn't lie. However, the tape does lie when you don't know what you don't know, when you don't know what you're looking at. So yes, you know how it goes. You know what I'm saying? We get down just like that. So let's get into these topics today. Without further ado, listen, feel free to comment, debate in the comments. I'm going to get back to your comments, of course, when we get our DM section to give you your shout outs. I'll address some of the questions in the comments. And we're going to attack it like that. So let's get into it real fast. The QB room, is it good? Is it good? Is this QB room good? And I posed this question on the show because I had an interesting thought, throughout the week, right? Refreshing my laptop here. I had an interesting thought, going into the week and kind of commentating on Bears Twitter this week, right? And I know we're heavily in discussions about a quarterback controversy on Bears Twitter or whatever your medium of short choice is. However, after thinking about it, I was like, we really shouldn't be, going at each other's throats about, who should be what, who's QB1, quarterback controversy. What we really should be focused on is the fact that the Chicago Bears as an organization, when it comes to the quarterback position, we're in a good position. We're in a good position, right? Right? Yeah, there's a lot of, need for improvement, if you will, from Justin Fields. Like we'll acquiesce on that arguing point, right? We don't really know what we have in Tyson Bagent, right? I think Bears fans should agree with that. Like if you're sitting somewhere in the middle, you're living in a world of reality, you're willing to at least concede those points, right? You know what I'm saying? There's improvement that needs to be happening, or things we need to see more from JF1. More from Justin Fields. We also need to see more from Tyson Bagent, right? We're not ready to anoint him as Jesus in cleats either, right? So if we really think about it and you put these two quarterbacks together and the strengths and weaknesses of both quarterbacks, we actually have a good quarterback in the building together. When you put their skill sets together, we have a good quarterback in the building. We have options, meaning there's no need to rush the quarterback conversation as it pertains to the draft is what I'm saying. There's no need to rush the quarterback conversation as it pertains to the draft. So Justin Fields hardliners are going to be like, oh, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We don't need Tyson Bagent. Tyson Bagent hardliners are going to be like, oh, no, it's time to get rid of trade Justin Fields. No. What we really should be focused on is between the two of them, we don't have to rush the quarterback conversation as it pertains to the draft, meaning our focus going to the draft should be on something besides the quarterback. And for me, that's a win. That's a win. Why? Because the build or the rebuild can continue for Ryan Poles, and we can focus on getting other positions, namely the trenches, filling the trenches with blue chip offensive linemen and defensive linemen, and as well going out there and getting game breakers like Marvin Harrison Jr., right? And then I outlined on Twitter the possibility of us capturing the two first rounders from Arizona. Now, I know I got some pushback on that, but that's okay. That's what we're supposed to do at this time of year. We're supposed to play, Bears Twitter, GMs and whatnot, right? We're supposed to think about the possibilities as fans, right? So I propose the best case scenario, although it may be, absence of a little bit of reality. The best case scenario is for us to continue, for Carolina to continue to be the bottom feeder of the league, go over, and us to maintain that top spot. And also for Arizona to win games, because Arizona wins games, then that makes them a candidate for that possible position. For trading up for that Caleb Williams spot, we assume it's going to be Caleb Williams that everybody's after, but going up for that top spot. Well, if Arizona comes to the table and they like Caleb Williams that much, we would ask them for those two first rounders and then picks after that, or a first rounder, a player similar to what we did last year with DJ. We get the first rounder, we get the player, and we get multiple other picks, and we're off to the races. Now, the second scenario is more likely. Because check this out. Arizona still has a second, an extra first round pick, right? So we could demand more. The first ask is give me both of those first rounders so we can end up with 3 first rounders. But the second ask would be like, okay, give us the DJ deal. Give us something similar to the DJ Moore deal. Give us the first rounder, give us the player, and give us multiple picks, right? And that makes Arizona more likely because they have an expendable first round pick, right? Regardless of the case, there'll be a bidding war for that pick. I think we can all agree on that. There'll be a bidding war. They'll be in hyped Caleb Williams and Drake up so much prior to the draft that, there'll still be a bidding war for that pick regardless of what happens. So we have to understand that as long as one or both of the QBs are playing well, we don't need to have conversations about resorting the organization. Let these guys fight it out. Worst case scenario, they go into the offseason tied. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it'll be statistically tied. That's what I'm saying. If we're basing off of stats, I'm just saying. I don't know that it'll be statistically tied. There'll be a tie statistics-wise. But in terms of operations of the offense, the flow of the offense and stuff like that, I think there'll be conversations to be had going into the offseason. Regardless of what happens, let the guys, two guys in the quarterback room, fight it out. And the worst case scenario or the best case scenario for Chicago Bears fans is we walk away from the situation with a quarterback. That's the deal. That's the deal. So I don't believe we should be focused on the quarterback room so much. That was my point that I want to make with that. Y'all let me know about in the comments. Y'all let me know, what do you think about that? Should Bears fans be overly concerned considering the fact that we have two pretty good prospects in that room? Should we be still overly concerned about the quarterback going into the draft or not? Y'all let me know in the comments. I'll address it when we hit the DM section. But let's move on to the next talking point. By the way, I was getting myself all geared up to have guests, and I said, today is going to be the day. Today's going to be the day where I have a perfect show, and I'll feel comfortable about inviting guests on because guess what? I'm going to have the perfect intro, the perfect monologue, the perfect show, and I still came here and managed to wet the bed anyway. So I see how I feel about that still, having guests on. I know I'm going to do it, but I want to make sure I got back in my rhythm before I do that. The next topic, should we sign JJ and Mooney? Should we sign Jalen Johnson to a long-term deal of contract and Mooney to a long-term deal of contract? And I'll start with Mooney because it's a little bit more sticky when it comes to the Mooney contract because, you know what I'm saying, there's not the you know what I'm saying, statistics, if you will, to support a big deal, put it that way. Now, if you go off of body of work, you know what I'm saying, conduct off the field, what it means to the community, what it means to the locker room, personality-wise and all that other stuff, it's a no-brainer. You sign a kid to a, you know what I'm saying, nice, healthy contract. You keep him around for a few years. Now, here's the thing. We're going to be something else to consider, I'll say this way. We're going to have multiple picks, and we're going to sign boatloads of talent in the drafts coming up. Do you want to obligate that money to a guy that you're not 1,000% certain behind, or do you want to go ahead and give him the money, understanding that you're still going to have stars on rookie deals? You go ahead and give him a nice piece of change, short-term deal. So say you get somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr., or you decide to go out and sign somebody in free agency. Like, what's the approach there? There's a lot to think about with that, with Darnell Mooney, right? You know what I'm saying? If you tie up the money, keep in mind we can go through free agency, which I think, you know what I'm saying, this is not the way that Ryan Poles would like to go. He still want to build through the draft, so he'll go through the draft and draft the guy. And still, that buys you some time before you have to give that next star or DJ a contract again. Which way do y'all think we should go with Darnell Mooney in the chat? And while y'all putting that money up, I'll actually get into the JJ signing because for me, this is an easy one. You need to go ahead and sign a kid to bring stability to the cornerback position. You know what I'm saying? Does Jalen Johnson have the high interception numbers? No. And I think with that, you can make sure you actually you can play with the contract because of the lack of interception production, right? The lack of interception production. My friend Pat Designer on the Windy City Breeze likes to call, and from ESPN. I don't want to cite you, Pat, on the ESPN job. From the Windy City Breeze and from ESPN has a saying, what's your favorite Jalen Johnson interception? Well, now we get to say which one it is. And mine is the first one from the other day versus the Raiders. That's my favorite. Pick six pick six, touchdown, Jalen Johnson interception. But still, I still say we go out there and sign Jalen Johnson. I don't think you know what I'm saying, you make him you don't make him a top 5 corner, but I believe it's somewhere between 5 and 10. You find a happy medium. I think that's around 11 to 12 million per, and you get him locked up on this contract and you play ball. Although we still have young corners that can play behind him, I think this young team needs some stability. And then also in the locker room, the players need to see guys getting contracts, right? Cole got his money. I think when players start seeing guys get signed, that's extra motivation, because let's be honest about it. You know what I'm saying? These guys aren't out here playing football, you know what I'm saying, for our just pure entertainment. They have to feed and take care of their families, and some of them multiple generations, right? So I think we need to go ahead and lock Jalen up for 11, 12 million per, I would say, 3 to 4 years, something like that, and make him a career great Bear and get it done that way, right? But y'all know how it goes, right? It's going to have to be for the right money, and it's going to have to be agreed upon. I think it'll get sticky. It'll get sticky once it starts reaching in the 13, 14, 15 million range, right? But is he worth it? You know what I'm saying? That's debatable, right? You have to take a look, and y'all keep in mind, right? This is where y'all can hammer me in the comments all day long, because I'm not a GM looking players, contracts up, you know what I'm saying, scout and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, type person. I like to look at the X's and O's, break down plays and all that other stuff. So I'm open to correction and debate on all that subject. Bear Truth 9 saying he's probably gets about 14, 15 million. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if they give him 14, 15 million, it is what it is. I just say we got to lock him up. But I still don't believe he should get like top 5 corner money. I think that'll be a fair deal. So I don't know what the numbers are for top 5 corner money, but definitely lock the kid up and let's play ball for the next few years. I'll get a chance to get to y'all comments in a second. Let me see how many more topics I got. I got 2 more topics, 2 more big takes, and then I'll get to the film study. So let me get to another topic, and then we'll hit the DMs real fast. I want to keep things flowing while we at it. What are we talking about? Who's schooling who? Who's schooling who? There's an old song back in the day that said, I think it was by Aretha Franklin. See, I'm showing my age. It said, who's fooling who? I probably could have called a segment, Who's Fooling Who, as well. Do me a favor before we hit this segment. Like, subscribe, share. All right? Share. Become part of Field Soldiers. Or if you're a Bagent agent, become part of Bagent Agents. Hey, the show segment gets named after actually who the actual QB1 is at the time. So there you go. Also on Twitter, X, follow me, Bears360_Coach T, right? And if I had a sponsor, I'd give the sponsor shout out right here and do their whole run up and commercial. I'm manifested. I'm speaking into existence. There will be sponsors coming up for the show. Anyway, by the way, if you are a follower, this is what I'll do. If you're a follower and you own a business, DM me on X or Twitter. And I want to make sure I take advantage of this platform. And you own a business, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. DM me on X. So I can give your show or your business a free plug. Now, here's the deal. Your business better have some great customer service. It better have some great customer service. Right? It better have some great customer. You better be good at what you do. But hit me on X or Twitter so I can give your show, your business a free plug. Also, all my friends that's out there already doing bear shows and stuff like that. I also support them. Shout out to my guy Vil from 3 Stands Podcast. Shout out for Bears Media Co. On here. Shout out to Steve O Speaks. He's on Bears Central. And the myriad of other shows. Shout out to my boy Aldo on Barroom Network. You can catch me on Barroom Network on game day at halftime and then post-game show. Also, shout out to my guys over the Windy City Breeze, Pat the Designer, Ringo, and P Kid, and the whole Pat Blackafee show cast that they got over there now. They got a whole cast of people doing show. That's a joke, by the way. Pat Blackafee. because they have so many people on the show, similar to Pat McAfee's show now. It's just a black version of it. Anyway, shout out to all y'all doing y'all thing, man. I rock with y'all. And I'll give y'all a plug. Again, if you own the business, hit me on a DM on X or Twitter so I can plug the show. So what were we talking about again? Who's fooling who, or who's schooling who? Who's schooling who? Who's schooling who? That came to light because I was thinking about the whole statement that people are making about Justin Fields benefiting from learning from Tyson Bagent and Tyson Bagent's operation of the offense, right? Tyson Bagent's operation of the offense. Justin is learning from Tyson Bagent the efficiency and learning how to get the ball out of his hands and operate the offense with efficiencies, right? You know what? I get what y'all trying to say, but I think people not conscious sometimes the way they say things and how it can come off to other groups of people when they say certain things. I'll be nice and put it that way. But can he sit back and watch the operations of and watch Tyson Bagent play and operate the offense? Yes, he can. But if I take that up another layer, what this allows time for is Justin Fields and Luke Getsy to get on the same page in terms of the style of play that we should be employing as an offensive football team, because we still haven't established a true identity as it pertains to this offense. And if you look over the past 7 weeks, right, if you look of how we played, and I surveyed the audience in my last show and asked you the questions, what style of play has been more beneficial to the team? You know what I'm saying? Luke's style of play, where he wants to spread it out and go multiple empty sets and fling the ball all over the football field, or the style of play that Justin Fields needs, right, which is the multiple tight end formation, ball control, run the ball control, 12, 13 personnel, clock control game, and take your shots. Example would be Denver, Washington, and the Raiders game. That style of play is the same style of play regardless of who's at quarterback, right? So instead of people looking at it, again, we always want to compare and contrast, right? And I get it. We're fans. We're going to do that. And I think that's a non-X's and O's take, right? That's fans evaluating football from the limited knowledge that they have about what's going on in the field. And that's okay. Like my friend Greg Bragg says from CHGO, all fans don't want to know all the details of football, coach. And I get it. It ruins the game for a lot of people too. But what I'll say is this: if you're going to be giving hot takes, make sure you know, or get with somebody that knows what's going on that can break things down for you. But back to my point, it's not just, you know what I'm saying? It's not just, Justin Fields sitting back and learning from Tyson Bagent how to operate the offense. You know what I'm saying? Who's really should be getting schooled in this moment should be Luke Getsy, and Luke Getsy learning, right, what style of play fits the personnel you have, right? Not just Justin, the running backs, the O-line, right? The tight ends, the wide receivers, right? And why is that important? Why is that important? Because to me, it's a no-brainer. You have an offensive line and a running back room that averages over 4 yards to carry, and they have done so for 2 seasons now. 2 seasons we've averaged over 4 yards per carry, and we're still struggling to find out our identity, or it's taken us 7 weeks to figure out our identity. Now we got 10 weeks left and we can make some noise, but it shouldn't have been that way, right? And here's what I said, I think on the last show, but also what I've said on X or Twitter is this: rather than coming into the season, this is what I believe happened. Rather than coming into the season and Luke saying, "Hey, I led the league in rushing last year with no talent." Right? I led the league in rushing last year with no talent, pretty much, except for the quarterback position. Why not take my playbook, and I got all these new toys and stuff now. Trust me, I've been in that position before. You got all these new toys and you want to use them right away. You want to show the league all you got and blah, 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 blah. And rather than you slowly integrate these new players into the offense, slowly integrate these new passing concepts, while, by the way, Luke was trying to figure out himself, because JT, TJ, Kurt Warner, myself, and others have said and asked the question, Luke, what the hell are you doing with some of them pass concepts early on in the season, right? Not to mention, passing game takes so much more attention. It requires so much more attention to detail. You have wide receivers hitting the wrong with landmarks, wide receivers running too close together, offensive linemen jumping off sides, all kinds of stuff. Rather than integrating the offense and slowly ramping it up, right? Slowly ramping the offense up. You know what I'm saying? My boy came out and decided, I'm going empty formation, empty trips, trip screening. I'm throwing the ball all over the yard. You know what I'm saying? Damn if these guys ready for it or not. Now, they might have shown it. And then to add to the fact that we didn't get a whole lot of preseason practice with this either, right? But now we're here. And here's the opportunity, but I believe watching both of these quarterbacks operate the offense, that Luke is actually the one that's being taken to school. And he's considering the fact that, hey, maybe if I play a certain style, then I give myself a chance to win. Not only that, Luke, you compliment our defense, our young defense. Keep it in mind. You got to keep in mind this team is young. Imagine if we ran the ball earlier in the season, played ball control offense, and we allowed Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens and all those guys to come along like we're doing now. We allowed ourselves to get the heel on defense, our defensive backfield. We allowed ourselves to get healthy on offensive line at the time because the offensive line was banged up, right? You know what I'm saying? Running the ball on offense is the easiest thing they can do. It's the easy part of their job. It's not easy, but the easiest part of their job, right? You're giving these young guys on defense, and you're having some relief on their legs, right? I think Luke is getting schooled in this moment. That's what the answer to my ultimate question is, right? I think Luke is learning how to use his personnel better. But it's his thing with Luke, right? Even going into the next game, right? I cooked Luke, man. I gave up on Luke because after the Vikings game. Because to me, it's a no-brainer, bro. You had the Denver game. You had the Washington game. To me, you should have figured it out then, right? 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 353, and a win, right? 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 282. You should have said to yourself, all right, I got my quarterback going. I got style of play that I want. Let's expand on that, right? The most extreme version of it is the Washington Commanders game. The middle of that kind of style of play, it would be Denver, and the most conservative would be the Raiders, because your new quarterback, of course, your rookie quarterback, you're going to call the most conservative game plan that you can to make things successful for him. But that's the spectrum. You don't have to get into this multiple spread them out, throw the ball over the yard, Luke, unless we're in desperation. That's the truth of the matter, right? And none of the teams that we're playing are that good. We could have been on a 4-game winning streak. All right, I don't want to beleaguer, whatever the word is, the point, but y'all know where I'm going with this. Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment. And while y'all let me know about that in the comment, we're going to get to the DM section that goes down in the DM.
Did you get like some crazy DMs?
Let's get to it.
Very.
Surprises or no?
You're talking like blue check marks?
Yeah, like
People who be sliding and I'm like, wow, y'all fuck with me like that?
Yeah, man, y'all F with me like that? Y'all be sliding in the DM like that? All right, y'all do be sliding in the DM. Hey, listen, thank you and welcome to the show. Listen, y'all don't have to hang out with me. I appreciate it. If you're new to the show, again, like, subscribe, share. I hope I'm being entertaining somewhat with this. We're going to get to the X's and O's here in a bit. But follow me on X, Twitter, also Bears360_Coach T. And I said earlier, if you have a business, you're in the Chicagoland area, you have a business that you want to plug, DM me on X or Twitter so we can get to it. Shout out to everybody that's joined Bear Truth 9, long time follow. Rusty, my guy, Bears Media Co. Ville, my guy Steve-O Speaks. And I think that's the crew. So shout out to y'all. I'm going to get to some of these comments, get them up on the screen now that my graphics working today. I think I'm going to have a pretty good show today, a pretty clean show today. Rock Davis, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man. So I'll get to the comments real fast before we get to the next section. Rock Davis says, yo, Coach T, he didn't help Justin Fields out at all last year. Justin had to speak out and say, I'm tired of hearing almost close before they changed the offense. Yes, I agree. And I think that was a pivotal moment because after that, I think it was the following week, not the same week, but you saw the more revised, more conservative offense once Justin spoke up for himself. But I don't think Luke had any intentions on changing his approach to the offense approach prior to Justin saying something, right? And I took y'all through it last week in last week's show. All the gameplay operations, it's not just, oh, you know what I'm saying, him calling the play, and them snapping the ball and running the play, right? You have to get an Oline calls. The quarterback has to make line protection calls. You know what I'm saying? You got the audibles, the checks, you got the motions, the shifts. Then you got the play call. You got the play call versus cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. It's more than just Madden, out there on the football field. It's just not getting to a play and calling a play. You have to have experience with those plays versus different looks. And again, I thought the way to approach it, and watch this. This is not a new thing. This is a coaching ism, right? It's the way I do my offense. I don't install my whole playbook during the summer, in the off season, or week 1. I slowly migrate my offense into what it's going to be or morph into what it's going to be by the end of the season. Because guess what? People can only retain so much information, and you want to bring everybody along at the same time. So it is what it is, man. Bear Truth Mine. Somebody said exactly, Coach. I want to get to some of y'all JJ takes. Steve-O Speak says he's giving JJ $12.5 million per year. I like that. I said 12, 13 is probably going to be about it based off of what I've heard from some other shows. Anything above 13 is going to be stretching, what it is, it is for Jay. Bears Media Coach says 3 year, 36 mil. That's about 12 year, right? 12 a year. That's about right. I like it. Somebody said 2 years, 28 mil. Steve-O, 2 years, 28. Okay. And somebody says, Bear True says he probably gets about 14, 15 mil. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I got this last take I want to get to real fast before we jump to the field study. Want to look at the defensive line. Want to ask y'all about the O-line shifts we got coming up. Listen, I'm really protective of O-linemen because that was the second position I coach. But my favorite position group in all of football is O-line, right? And one thing I know about offensive linemen, it's like changing out cylinder heads in your car, right? If you got one busted cylinder in your head, do you change all of them, right? You don't change all of them when you got one busted, right? So you might have one guy coming back, but if that means moving everybody across the offensive line to multiple positions, I just don't think you do it. So we got Braxton Jones that's on his ramp up, if you will. I don't know if he comes back this week, but what do y'all think? What should the lineup be for the offensive line if Braxton Jones comes back this week, given that, you know what I'm saying, this offensive line shows a pretty good rushing attack, and we haven't seen. Listen, Braxton comes back fully healthy, allow him to get some reps in practice, allow him to get some hardcore reps in practice. And what I think what they probably do, man, in knowing this team, right, because we've seen this before with Tevin Jenkins, they'll probably ramp him up, slowly integrate him, get him on a pitch count, if you will. Get Braxton on a pitch count, if you will, and slowly ramp him up according to how they treated Tevin Jenkins, right? But eventually work him up and work him into his spot. Now, if he's, you know what I'm saying, if he's wetting the bed, then they'll be able to make their evaluation from there. And we know with the speed rushes and stuff like that, there's never been an issue with the speed rushers with Braxton. It always boils down to his ability to handle the bull rush and the strength. Hopefully he's used this time off, and I don't know how, but because with a neck injury, you can't do a whole lot. But hopefully, I don't know. I'm pulling this one out of nowhere. But hopefully he's gotten stronger over this 4 or 5 weeks off. I don't know, during his rehab process. But, yeah, definitely plug him back in there. But also, we have to think about Nate Davis. And I don't know what his timeline is either. But you got Tevin Jenkins and Darnell Wright right next to each other on the right side, which I love, by the way. I don't think not enough attention's been given to that because you got two dogs on the right side of that line. And by the way, people made a whole whoop-to-do about Tyson Bagent and the quarterback sneak. It's like Tyson Bagent sneezes and, bro, everybody goes crazy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, he makes the sneak and everybody goes crazy, but Tevin Jenkins and Darnell Wright to my right side, where do you think I'm going to lean on a quarterback sneak? It was just using common sense to me, right? But what do you do right there? If Nate so happens to get back high ankle sprain, probably he's not going to be out for the whole season. What do you do right there? Because Nate was playing pretty good prior to getting injured, prior to getting rolled up on his ankle. What do you do now? Do you interrupt something that you might have found and replace or move Tevin back to the left guard? I just like the idea of Tevin and Darnell both on the same side, and you know if you need a play, right? Think about this. Tevin Jenkins, Darnell Wright, and Mercedes Lewis on the same side of the line of scrimmage. You should be able to tell the defense where you're running the ball and still be able to get your yards in that situation. I'm just saying, right? Our three best run blockers in that situation, you can't move them. So what do you do? What do you do when Nate comes back? Do you move Tevin back to left, right? Or you keep him at right? Right? You keep him at right. And then do you replace Cody with Nate? So you got Cody, you got Patrick, Davis, and Jones as your eventual starters. So across your lines, you will have from right to left, you'll have Wright, Jenkins, Patrick, Davis, and Jones. I like that lineup. I like when healthy, I like that lineup. I like that lineup. Now, there's some politics in there because do you bench the veteran there, Cody Whitehair? You bench him and make him a swing interior offensive lineman? Is Cody at the swing seasoned veteran, swing offensive lineman state of his career yet? Right? Or a possible trade candidate? I think we found a nice little happy medium, man, on the show a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's on that no more. Like, we realize now that more than ever that, you know what I'm saying, the Bears quarterback room is good. We discussed that earlier before you joined the show. The quarterback room is good overall, so we can look forward to some good football in Chicago from the quarterback room in the near future. And, you know, worst case scenario, bro, it allows us and buys us time to figure out some things as we go. So, again, we're going to look at some film, and we're going to talk about these deals real fast. Watch what we're doing. Again, similar to how I watch offensive film, I evaluate film from the front down. Like, it's a lot to cover, right? Right? We got a four-man front, so we're probably in a nickel situation right here. What personnel are they in? What personnel grouping are they in? One back, no tight ends. What do you call that? Right? I like to teach at the same time while we're playing. I can't see fully what the personnel grouping is. I can't tell you if there's a tight end on the field. Is Waller out there? Is he hurt? Oh, it's a tight end on the field. There you go. They motion them back in. So one tight end, one running back. What personnel grouping is that? We got a forefront with one back, one tight end. Typically, we're going to be in 11 personnel. So you got Kyler Gordon down here in the slot. This is our core, you know what I'm saying, usually two high safety defense. They walk Brisker down in the gap right here. All football evaluation starts from up front, whether it's offense or defense. So see what they're doing with the defensive line, offensive line right there. You see your boy getting busy right there. Oh, there's a little run to the outside of a jet sweep. Who was that? I think one thing that we haven't discussed a whole lot in this season is the play of Billings, man. Billings should be getting more love than he's getting at that one technique. He's really locked it down. And he didn't come in with a whole bunch of fanfare in the offseason, right? You see the one technique right here, and his whole idea here is he has to basically take up two bodies right here. He has to take up the center and the guard to the weak side of the formation, because understand here, you know what I'm saying, you're going to shift your power, you're going to shift your bodies to the strength of the formation. So this nose guard has to be able to take up two bodies on the backside. And he's done a great job of not just doing his job this season, but he's done a great job of getting penetration off that. So watch, even if we would have let this play pass, he's still getting back into the quarterback's face. And there's some more West Coast stuff right here. So they get the ball out of their hands quick. Tyree Stevens out there on the job. You know what I'm saying? You'll give him stuff like that. You give him stuff like that. All right. This is his 1st and 10. Same play. Oh, this is the first saving play. 1st and 10 play coming out of here. Again, got the little jet motion. Oh, it's a jet sweep. Get to the outside. Are our guys getting off blocks? Are our guys getting off blocks right here? Jet motion. You got TJ tied up. Brisker coming up with the safety play right there. Yeah, so we're not playing a traditional Tampa 2, right? If y'all see, Brisker makes that play right there. So a traditional Tampa 2 just has these guys right here, the two high safety, right? The two high safety, and the idea is keep everything back in front of you. If you're going to go two high safeties, this guy has to half the field, this guy has half the field, right? And you just try to keep everything back in front of you. But because we've been having so many challenges with stopping the run, one, but also getting rushed on the passer, you're going to see this guy play in the box a lot more than, you know what I'm saying, typical Tampa 2. This is what our offense will see this season, is this coming up game as well. Because we had such a good we did a good job running the ball last week, expect to see, unless the Chargers think they can get away with playing in a 7-man box, expect to see this safety, their safety, walk down in the box and load the box with 8 men to stop our run and challenge TYSON Bagent to throw the ball over their heads, right? And it's similar to what we have to do, right? We are not good at stopping the run, so we have to walk a safety down in a lot of our plays and play with the box full. Here they back off, so you have to mask it, right? You can't do it every time. So here they back off in a too high. This is cover 2 man, looks like. And you're gonna get stuff like the other guys get paid too. Coaches cannot evaluate talent. They have Foreman bench. I would disagree with that take, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. Let me pause it here for a second. Not to be a contrarian, right? But I'm gonna tell you why that I don't agree with that take. And anybody that follows the show knows where I'm gonna go with this. I'll tell you why. Because you have to evaluate running backs on doing everything except for running the ball. Any NFL running back and running the ball, he made it to the NFL for a reason, right? And it has nothing to do with his inability to run the ball, right? Has nothing to do with his inability to run the ball. He made the NFL for a reason. Usually when a running back is benched or put down on the depth chart, it has to do with everything besides running the ball, blocking, picking up the playbook, picking up motions and shifts, right? Protections. Protection is the top of that list. Protections, motions, the playbook, motions, shifts, and all that other stuff, right? It has to do with everything else, right? So when we change our game, our running style, when we change our play style, which only requires the running back to do nothing but run mostly, and he doesn't have to protect as much because we're going 12 and 13 personnel, and those tight ends are doing the majority of the blocking, and the running back doesn't. The running back's only job is to get out to the flat for a hot route. Then you don't have to worry about it as much. But it goes back for me. That goes back to Luke Getsy's knowing his talent. Luke Getsy knowing his talent. All right. So let's get back into it. All right. Yeah. So here it is, and then so you're gonna have some little bit different fronts right here. I think we get like an overlook. What is this? An underlook, right? This is an underlook. So you're gonna have, instead of you having a traditional 4-3 defense, they roll whoever this is this Jack Sanborn? They roll him over to the weak side of the formation to cover the backside. And usually what that means is they're going to slant. They're finna slant to the strength, right? So they have to cover this gap on the backside. So what you're going to do is slant or stunt with your front end. And I could be wrong here, but the idea is, the basics and the fundamental is, every gap has to be covered. So this guy has contained. This guy has that gap. By all intents and purposes, this guy has that gap. The linebacker, he'll have the A gap. He'll have the B gap. You know what I'm saying? And you have to create a funnel and funnel the ball to a tackler or a group of tacklers if they run it inside. And it looks like we did a pretty bang-up job here, right? I want to take that one back. What is that, the 1st and 10 play? Let's take that one back. I want to slow that one down. All right. Let's slow that one down, because that looked like a good play to talk about gap responsibilities and all that good stuff, right? Gap responsibilities and all that good stuff. All right, let's get back to it. Let's slow it down. Let's see what they do with this defense line. Are they slanting them? Oh, they slanted them away from where I was saying, which is weird to me, but okay. Because now you got two guys in the same gap. So now you got two guys having contained. This guy here, one. But we still have the man. So we got somebody to take on the fullback. But this guy, Edmonds, now he has to make this play. If he gets juked, nothing happens until they hit the safety right here. So sometimes you'll have a bad call on for the play call, and that's what you try to get as an offensive play caller, right? You try to get that as an offensive play caller. But, you know what I'm saying, it's still pretty good right here. Now they're pulling the guy. It's not the best call for the play, but that's football. That's football. That's just football right there. I want to get to some plays where we get the chance to see Dexter and Pickens get in here. So if y'all spot them, y'all shout them out in the comments. Again, recognizing the strength of the formation, right? Either if you're gonna run the ball, you're either gonna run to your strength of your formation, or you're gonna do what we call a counter play and go and pull bodies and get back to the strength. That's the trickeration of football, if you will, right? Because you're always gonna make sure your numbers are good, right? So you start counting from the center out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You got to make sure you got bodies to match. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or this guy's on the backside, so you got to count this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You got to have bodies to match. And then you got to have an extra guy to get the ball carrier, right? So what they'll do is offenses see this, and they'll say, hey, we got the numbers. We're going to run to the strength. Or if they see, they may have a hard rule in that says, hey, if we don't have the numbers, we're going to audible to a counter call. The counter will have the guard and the tackle, or the guard and the tight end or somebody pull back to the backside. Let's see what they actually do with this play. Now you got the fullback in. Now, with the fullback in, it's a problem to both sides. Because you can get the numbers either way and win this play. This is big boy football right here. Let's see what we do. They go play action, backside screen. Yeah. See, this is kind of how you can predict how a football play is going to go, right? You can usually count the numbers, and the number's going to tell you which way they're going to go, what they're going to try and do. Here's that trap play or counter play, trap play. And then they come back, and the next play, they kind of have it blocked up, or we have the numbers. We motion the fullback in. That's the giveaway coverage, right? The motion is giveaway coverage, man to man, right? The motion gave away the coverage. I skipped out on the coaching point right there. Why do y'all do that, coach? The motion gives away the man to man. See, if this man is trailing the motion man, that's man to coverage. He's trailing, right? That means that just told the quarterback, you got this play pass call, right? You got man to man. That's why he can throw this ball with confidence like this, right? Because if he had zone, he would have some trepidation. He would feel some kind of way about throwing this ball because somebody could run right into the zone and it get picked off. But they ran the man in motion to give away the coverage. Now he knows he can turn and rip it, right? So even with that, Jalen has to take that as a sign. Hey, they ran the motion. They're trying to see if I'm in man. I just gave away the fact that I'm in man. Now I got to get up in his chest and play tight. I got to get up in his chest now and play tight. It's a lot of stuff going on as the game's going on that we don't see as fans as we watching it. But if you have somebody that know what they looking at, like I said, the tape never lies, but it does when you don't know what you're looking at. Anyway, got to get up in his chest right there, Jalen. So he comes off quick hitch. That's like a tunnel screen. It wasn't even like a hitch. It was like a tunnel screen. And that's a good play call. It's a good play call. All right, and moving the ball. Y'all see the young guys in yet? Okay, I think the young blood's in yet. Pickens. Who's that, Pickens? Because I want to focus on the young bloods. Young guys. This is the screenplay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm skipping around. I want to make sure. Is that Dexter? '95, '93. Oh, that's Jones still in. Oh, first drive. So I shouldn't expect to see the young guys in anyway. Ghost said they get a heavy dose of Roshan informing this week. Power running. I agree. That is the way to go. The style of play that we played this week, let me skip down. The style of play we played this week is the style of play we should have going forward the rest of the season. That should be our identity, especially as we open the season and it starts to get cold in the city, right? As it started to get cold in the city, we should play ball like we did this past Sunday and run power ball and just run it down their throat, play action off of that. Heavy 12-13 personnel, and only use that multiple spread crap when you absolutely have to. Back to the film. All right. Both teams were trying to go downhill on each other. They were trying to go downhill on each other and run it down one another's throat. But you know what I'm saying? We just beat them at the game. Here we go. Second drive. Billings in. Jones in. We got a pretty better angle on this. ISO. Just ISO lead play. Basic ISO lead play. This is football 1-on-1, right? Football 1-on-1. You know, line up, send a fullback through a hole, follow it with a running back. Not trying to be cute. Motion. What did that just tell y'all right there? What coverage are they in? What did that just tell y'all right there? Remember I told y'all I like teaching. What did they just tell y'all right there? Quick motion. Too high safety. Now watch this. Anybody watching and still following me right now, what did I say y'all about reading coverage? What was the acronym I gave y'all last year about reading coverages, right? This just gave the quarterback a lot. We got two high safeties, and we just had a motion where the man trail. What coverage are we in? All my football savants out there. What coverage are we in? We just two high safeties, and we just send a man in man coverage. We send a man to follow or trail a guy in man coverage? What coverage are we in? It's 17 of y'all out there. I know one of y'all know the answer. What coverage are we in? Just take a wild guess, man. You got 2 safeties. So I'm going to give y'all the acronym while y'all figuring it out, or y'all trying, the show is catching up with me, right? You got 2 high safety here, right here. So the acronym I gave y'all last year was safety, SDL. Remember that. Initialism or acronym. SDL. Count the number of safeties, right? Check the corner's leverage, right? Check the corner's leverage. The leverage right here, the distance first. S, safeties, distance, the corner difference, distance, and their leverage. The corner's within 5 yards, pressed up, right? And the leverage. Leverage would mean if the corner turned his body at an angle, like if he was facing in and was trying to influence the wide receiver to run in, and he was turned in and trying to influence the wide receiver to run in, that would make me think they were in cover 2 zone. But 2 high safeties, you went in motion and the guy trail with you. Let me take this back. Take this back. I'm hoping y'all learning something right here. I'm going to clip this up for X because people going to learn something today. 2 high safeties, the guy goes in motion and trails, right? S, safeties, 2, depth, distance, pressed up, and leverage. They're flat. They're straight up. That is cover 2 man. Cover 2 man. Right? Let's see what they do with this cover 2 man. Now, man coverage, you're going to try and pick the mismatch. Right? You know this guy has help over the top. So the only thing they really can do versus this coverage is some in-breaking route, but they got to be careful. You got a guy that has hook the curl here and a guy that has hook the curl right here. They're going to have to do some kind of comeback hitch or out route or hitch route or something to get it completed. Dangerous territory. That's where they shouldn't have thrown the ball to. Probably should have been picked off. But I'm teaching. Second drive, let's get through it. I know I've been talking a lot. Let me get through it. I got about 15, 20 more minutes, and we'll get out of here. All right, what are we looking at? 2 high safeties. We're running 2 high. Pressed up again. 2 man. 2 man. Everybody's tacked up. See? 2 man. Everybody's guarded. So we ran a lot of 2 man in this game. All right. Is that Pickens or Dexter in the game? Dexter's in the game. Shout out to Dexter. Up 2 man coverage again. But watch this. Single high safety. So SDL. Single high safeties. Now you got to check the cornerback distance. They pressed up. My guess was that was going to be cover 3. Right? That was going to be cover 3. But it's a run play, so we'll never know. But watch the gaps. Look at Pickens right there getting penetration. My God, boy. You better play ball, cuz. Look at this. This is what I want to see. I really wanted to watch film so we could check this out. I wanted to see the young guns do their thing. I wanted to see our young guns in action. And somebody give them some love because they ain't been getting that love. You got Pickens and Dexter. So the rotation is Billings, Jones, Pickens, and Dexter. They letting the young guns play together. But watch how Pickens – now, I said this. By the way, prior to the draft, I called both of these guys right here. I said both of these guys would be 2 years in a row I got players right. I got Tevin right, and I got these 2 guys right. I thought those guys fundamentally – it wasn't a pass rush thing. It's how they reset the line of scrimmage. So watch where the line of scrimmage is right now. And watch where they end up. And I haven't seen this play right now, but this is something they did well in college. Both of these guys, Pickens and Dexter. This is the line of scrimmage. Watch how I wasn't impressed by their pass rush moves so much as how they reset the line of scrimmage. Watch the line of scrimmage. Watch where they end up. Their man that they're going up against. Reestablishing the line of scrimmage in the run game. Boom, come off the ball. Look at Pickens already. This is a problem, bro. See, People that watch football and want to evaluate football only want to pay attention to pass rush numbers and sacks. But this is right here is how you earn the right to rush the passer. Because guess what? He's forcing this dude to make a cut, and you got a guy right there already. You're going to cut right into getting smacked. What is Dexter doing? Holding this gap down. The line of scrimmage was right here, by the way. The line of scrimmage. So his feet is getting ready to cross the line of scrimmage. You're winning. Gets pushed back a little bit right there. But stalemate, man. That's a dub. That's a win. That's a win. That's how you evaluate defensive linemen. It's not always pass rush numbers and sacks. Their first job is to stop the run. Reestablish the line of scrimmage. So right now we got what? Is this pick in the 3, Dex in the 1? One technique? People were talking earlier about Dexter's get off. Early in the season about his get off. Let's take a look at this and see how he got off the ball. I haven't seen it before. We're watching it together. Look, what? Nothing wrong with that get off to me. Pass play. That could have been picked off. Y'all see that? Oh, my God. That was almost picked off. Who was that? Jack Sanborn almost picked that off. Watch Dexter get back and reestablish the line of scrimmage right here. And push the pocket. Push the pocket. That was Sanborn. Almost got that. So this is what? Cover 2 zone right here. Sanborn overran it just a little bit. It's the last drive for me, guys, because I don't want to bore you too much. I try to do 1 drive on offense on Tuesdays. 2 drives on offense, 2 drives on defense. Tuesday is offense, Thursday is defense. I just want to see the young guys today. All right, they got some kind of twist stunt going on in here? No. It's not a good play to evaluate. All right. One more. Let's see. Let's see if they score on this. Let's finish out this drive strong, guys. Let's see the young guys. Let's slow them down, too. Boom. Slow it down. Y'all can get this stuff off of NFL.com, too. With a paid subscription, of course. All right, we slowed it down. Let's see the get off. Ball snap. A little slant. We ran a little slant right there. All right, cool. Yeah. By the way, I'll make that statement once I wrap up this drive. Couple more plays in. I want to make a statement, right, about what the Ghost of Judah tribe said. All right, let's get out of this film stuff. All right, cool. So here's the cadence, right? Here's the cadence. We'll do offense on Tuesdays, 2 drives, and we'll do defense on Thursdays, 2 drives. I think one thing I wanted to say about what Ghost had to say that's been lost on a lot of the media as well is, do me a favor, y'all watching this on playback, like, subscribe, share, follow me on Twitter, Bears360_Coach T. That's been lost on this team overall is this. This team is good in the run game, both sides of the ball. The backs average over 4 yards per carry on our entire offense. Everybody, including Velus Jones, averages over 4 yards a carry. The identity of this football team is running the ball, period. Our defense is top 10, top 5 against the rush in the league. So if we run the ball and we just stop the run and play conservative, this is why you have to run the ball, Luke freaking Getsy, because if you just keep this defensive line, this defense fresh, they can stop the run. The only way they're going to come out of character is if they're tired and they play multiple plays throughout the game. I'm going to try and watch this week's game to see kind of what their pitch count is, the defense's pitch count is. And you can tell by a defense's pitch count how the game is going to go. if they get over a certain amount of plays, you'll know when the game is going, because they're going to get tired and they're going to start giving up big runs and all that other stuff, right? But if we can run the ball and keep them off the field and keep them fresh, they know how to stop the run. And this is how Luke has to play complementary football, right, when it comes to that stuff, right, and his play, right? And I know I got a little treat because I was going to forget about this. I got a little treat. I'm going to skip subjects for a little bit. I got a little treat for Tribe of Judah. Judah, Tribe, Judah, Trub. I don't know. But that name is confusing. All right. I got a little treat because guess what? Herb Howard asked a great question to Luke Getsy about the 3rd and 5 play. The 3rd and 5 play where Tyson Bagent threw the first down across the middle, no-look pass to Tyler Scott, right? But I thought Luke Getsy gave a great answer to the question that Herb Howard asked about the case. This is for those comparers out there that want to compare. I'm off the compare train, right? You know what I'm saying? We have 2 good quarterbacks. We don't have to address quarterback in the draft. I think the Bears in the best possible position because they have competition in the locker room for the position. I don't think it's a quarterback competition right now. I think it's the clear 1 and 2 until the guy loses his job clearly. You don't take it away from him, but I think Luke Getsy did a good job explaining. Here it goes.
The different strengths, as you get right with the different strengths in your quarterback room, I want to go back to that same 3rd and 5 play. You had
the first one, right? Yeah.
The first touchdown. You got to a point where, again, Tyson worked his way across, but then also that left side kind of left open. First ball, they didn't take Deontay in the flat. Justin may be more likely to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. He may get to that flat play, or he may just take off with the left sideline. He may actually score on that. How do you balance what Tyson does well in terms of reading, getting that ball out and on time, and what Justin may likely do in terms of holding that thing and taking up the left sideline for a 50-yard touchdown?
It starts with being process driven. I guess that's where you start the whole thing off at, right? So you're teaching the quarterback timing, rhythm, footwork that matches your progression. So when you hit a certain timing in your footwork, if that number 1 progression is not there, it's time to go to 2 and so on and so on. And so that's the starting point for it all, right? But in the end, when you play the game, right, the style of a player, the instincts of a player, they have to always take over, right? This is a player's game. Your job is to put them out there and give them the time, the space to go do what they do best. And so for every player, that's always different. That's not just the quarterback position as well. I mean, you watch, I'm jumping on the Kansas City thing, but like Kelsey play, there's nobody that feels the game.
All right, I'm going to get it out of there with that, right? It was a great question by Herb, right? And it's for the people that like to compare styles, right? And I asked the question on Twitter last week, I believe it was, that what is the right way to play quarterback, right? What is the right way to play quarterback? Because what a lot of fans don't realize is when you make certain statements about quarterback play, you know what I'm saying? Some of it is employing tropes, right? Which I don't like to get into, but y'all know me, I'm going to call it how I see it, right? I'm not shying away from any conversation at all, especially on my own platform. When you start making certain statements about how quarterback play, you got to be careful of, you know what I'm saying, tropes like, oh, he doesn't read defenses. Well, you can't be an NFL quarterback and not read defenses, or you can be bad at it at worst. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes said he didn't learn how to read defenses in the NFL until his 3rd or 4th year that he claimed he came out and said it last year, right, till his 3rd year. But what he meant by that is I didn't know what NFL teams were trying to do to me disguise-wise, reading coverages-wise. You know, an NFL quarterback knows how to look up and see 2 high safety. They send a guy in motion like I just did with you guys. 2 high safety, send a guy in motion, that's 2 man, right? Single high safety, the corner's playing off, and he has outside leverage forcing the guy inside. That's more than likely cover 3, right? They know that stuff. What they're saying is I don't know how to read or understand how defenses are trying to attract me and how they're moving the safeties in and out. So no good defensive coordinator is going to sit back there in 1 single high safety the whole time or 2 high safeties and let you get a read on them, right? They're going to move those safeties around. They're going to disguise coverage. They're going to buzz covered safeties down. They're going to move safeties back. And there is a way that you go about being able to tell what they're doing and when they're going to do that, right? That's what they mean by read coverage. So, you know what I'm saying? But again, I love the question here by Herb Howard, but also give equal credit to the answer because it was a non-divisive answer by Luke Getsy. Let me get clear on what Herb asked him. He's like, how do you evaluate the differences of the styles of play? The style of play for Tyson Bagent is to do exactly what he did. Stand in the pocket, read the coverages, and get to your third read and wing the thing, right? Now, the one thing that I will say, and I give her crap on it on Twitter about, is the one thing he didn't say is for Justin Fields is Justin could have threw it too. But the chances are more than likely that he wouldn't have. But still give the kid credit that he would have thrown it. He could have thrown it too, right? But the other thing is this, right? Herb said this, that Justin could have pulled it, hit the check off to the left that was wide open, or pulled it and scrambled or ran for a 50-yard touchdown, right? And that boils down to styles of play, right? You have one kid that plays down, he plays one type of way, and Luke said that's good for him, right? He also said you got another guy, style of play is to do what he does, because guess what? He has the option. Right? Not a lot of guys in the league have the option to pull the ball down and run it for a touchdown and be the fastest guy on the NFL football field. That's what we saw last year. It wasn't like, oh, I'm running down the field and guys are hawking me down from behind, blah, blah, blah. He's not the fastest guy in the NFL by any stretch of the imagination, but being able to use your legs in a way that you're the best athlete on the field is not a reason to be, disparaged or insulted or troped, right? We got to be careful. And I like the explanation because it was a perfect explanation right down the middle that said, listen, after I call the play, I understand what these guys have been taught, but it boils down to the individual's instinct to do what they do best and do what you do best. Guess what? You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant wasn't good at the post game when he first came into the NBA. Neither was LeBron's. But Michael Jordan proved that the best way to score, to get easy points in the NBA was to play with your back to the basket, have a post game. And guess what? Kobe and LeBron's post games came later in their career. They came later in their career. So when necessity kicks in and he doesn't have the ability to run no more, and we've seen this with many quarterbacks, black quarterbacks, white quarterbacks, or whatever. When you don't have the skill set to do what you did before, as you get older, you get smarter, you get wiser, and you learn how to play the game in a different way, in a different level, as you get more seasoned. So right now, the kid may be holding the ball and using his leg stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? But 2 years from now, could be zipping and zinging it up. That's not the default to disparage him, and it's to take nothing away from Tyson Bagent because he may not be able to scamper for 50-yard runs and touchdowns like that right there. They are who they are. Let them boys play ball. And again, it goes back to my original take today is the quarterback room should be safe. We got a guy, we got a dude and a guy. You don't have to go into the draft worrying about quarterback. We can go get some dogs and we can be better next year. So that's my comment, bro. It's a good show. I appreciate you. Apology for all the freezing and all that other stuff. I'm going to get it figured out. I'll get me a Wi-Fi extender first. If this Wi-Fi extender don't work, I'm firing this software company. And I'm going to have to go to another software. I mean, I'm going to have to learn a whole different software, which is crazy to me because doing that in season is like the last thing I want to do. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It's another show. I'll see y'all on Sunday. Sunday is different because we got a Sunday night game, and I usually go on, what's the even plan? 1, 2, 12, 11, 10, 3 hours before the game. So how about this? I'm going to do a 5 p.m. show on Sunday because we have the late game. So I'll see y'all Sunday at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. on Sunday. Appreciate y'all hanging with me. It's Coach T. I'm out. Bear down.